Welcome back. So this is part 2 of how to make your quilt pattern in Google Slides. And of course, my timer was running out in part 1, and so I started to panic. But indeed, these are all linked together, which is really great. So I'm going to shortcut that, and I'm going to Control-C, Control-V, make another copy. And I'm going to bring this guy up here and snap it into the other corner, and I check, and my alignment looks good over here. And let's repeat this triangle too, Control-C, Control-V, and bring them on down here. And so now I've created sort of a set of 4, and you can see my job was a little sloppy here. So if I want to not work with the mouse, I can just go ahead and bring that on back using the number pad over there. So I want to repeat in a quilt pattern. So I'm going to take all of these 4 and group them together by pressing Shift and selecting them. And I know I haven't got that little guy. We'll try and grab it. And if I come up to Arrange and Group, hopefully I've grabbed all 4. And let's see if I have them. Slide them over together. Yep, good. I have all 4 items together. And I could, of course, I just moved my grid line there. I could, of course, choose to group only 2 of them together, or maybe 3 of them together, and I'll check and make sure my alignment looks good, and it is. So I have this whole thing grouped now, and I moved this grid line too, I can see. So make sure they are staying in place. If you're using incorrect grid lines, are going to mess up your pattern for sure. So make sure your grid lines are staying nice and straight. Keep an eye out for that. And I'm going to let's select this guy. Control-C, Control-V, and now I'm making my life super easy. This is the fun part where you can work with these big blocks and sort of mess around with the patterns and see what looks good. So that's not too bad. It's a little bit chaotic feeling though. A lot of triangles sort of falling all over the place. So one way to kind of add interest to your work is to flip these around. So if I come up here to Arrange, and let's just try a rotation on there. That's kind of cool. So now I can imagine that if I keep repeating this, and this center piece here, I'm going to start to get that windmill that you see on a lot of quilt patterns. And I really like that. So let's do another one. Control-V. And let's bring this guy. Whoa, I moved my grid line again. Come on back over here. Select first. Let's bring this guy down here. Pop it down here. Okay, and I think that's not quite right. So I'm going to have to rotate that. Arrange. Go back to rotate 90. No, I'm going to have to go one more time. Rotate 90. And there's my little windmill idea popping up in the middle again. So, I can see that this one, my grid line has come off just a wee bit because I'm being sloppy. And let's Control-V, paste one more of our blocks and bring it down. Pop it into place. And it's not making my windmill, so let's rotate that and rotate. And let's just go one backwards. I think should do it. There it is. So there. So now I've got a situation where I've got a really interesting kind of pattern going on. It's simple, but it's engaging. I have a real focal point here. I have lots of repetition. I have a color pattern, color scheme that's working. I could go back and tweak this. Maybe I'm finding I don't like the way this looks here, so I might want to change this block around. You can go back, delete, redo until you find a pattern that you're happy with, something that really represents you and your likes and interests. All right, so one final thing that I would say is let's get rid of these grid lines now and take these guides and get rid of them. And now I can see really clearly what my quilt would look like hanging on a barn. And that's it for now. Don't forget to email me if you have any questions.